Now, the massed ranks of British trade union bosses, fewer in the ranks than there once were, of course, were gathered in Liverpool today for their annual autumn get-together. The Prime Minister, that's the Prime Minister who promised British jobs for British workers, will go up there tomorrow. But his pledge has cut no ice at all with the founders of a new organisation, the Workers of England Union. It's just been formed, and where better to launch it than the South Yorkshire town of Doncaster, with its English Democrat mayor, and as Matt Podger reports, a place with some idiosyncratic union issues.
Back in the 1980s, at the height of the miners' strike, this building housed the offices of the National Coal Board, and the street outside was the scene of battles between pickets and the police. Now this building's home to Doncaster Council, and it's the scene for yet another battle between unions and bosses. And this one has the potential to create waves far beyond here. This is Jim Board, branch secretary of Doncaster Council's biggest trade union and an outspoken critic of the council's management, protesting along with union colleagues after he was suspended from his council job last week. He faces dismissal for flouting a recent directive, the council says, which banned employees from talking to the media. He's not allowed to talk about the case, but his union colleagues can.
Unison believes that it's motivated by a desire on behalf of Doncaster Council to get rid of Jim Board whilst they force through a number of budget cuts and privatisation plans across the whole of the council, but particularly at the moment within children and young people's services.
So effectively sidelining the most powerful union in the council?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
The roots of this current dispute lie in Doncaster's well-documented crisis in children's services. There was more evidence of that just a fortnight ago with the conviction of a 10-year-old and 11-year-old boy for torturing two other boys. The case happened in Edlington, just a few miles from here. That's what ostensibly landed the union official in hot water. He was told not to comment on the case to the media. He's previously been very critical of the council over its handling of children's services. But the question is there more to it than that? Meet Peter Davis from the English Democrat Party, Doncaster's elected mayor for the past 4 months. The books give a clue to his political views: climate change denialist, Eurosceptic and campaigner against excessive government spending. He also wants an English Parliament. But just now, he's waging war against Doncaster's principal union reps.
What I discovered last week, to my horror, is that 6 trade unionists here are being paid out of council funds to do nothing else but council work at a cost to the taxpayer of £220,000. That's about £35,000 a piece. It's more than I'm getting, right?
But they're representing council workers.
Well, if they're representing council workers, they should be paid for by the union.
What's raised eyebrows is that on the day, indeed the hour, the council was suspending its Unison rep, Mayor Davis was launching a new trade union and encouraging council workers to join it. Are you telling me there's no connection?
No connection at all. I knew nothing about Jim Board's suspension till the next day.
The very hour, at 3 o'clock on the same day.
It is. Listen, the one thing I'm renowned for is straight talking. I do not tell lies. If that had happened, I would tell you. I did not know about Jim Board's suspension until the following day.
Eddie Bone is a name which won't ring any bells with many delegates at this week's TUC conference, but he's the vice president of that new Workers of England union, which is causing such a stir both here in Doncaster and within the wider union movement. Unaffiliated to either the TUC or Labour and unashamedly populist, it pledges to fight for English workers against cheap foreign labour, though it denies it's racist.
Uncontrolled immigration does have a direct effect on the standards of living of the workforce of England. You know, that's quite clear. It would do. And if you're a man who's actually working on minimum wage, which is just below £43 a day, then you are concerned that your standard of living will drop for your family.
Rewind to the protests at Total's Lindsey oil refinery earlier this year against Italian workers. They mocked Gordon Brown's 2007 promise of British jobs for British workers. But a fear of appearing xenophobic or racist has made the issue of foreign workers a hot potato for the established unions. A quick straw poll on the streets of Doncaster suggests the new union may have tapped into a well of resentment.
British citizens, people who are working hard, should be paid for the right money, instead of having other people coming in from outside third world countries, coming in and working for cheaper money and leaving us so obviously high and dry.
It says it's putting the workers of England first, saying, are you concerned about companies employing cheap imported labour that keep wages low?
I am, yeah.
You're worried about foreigners coming in and taking jobs? Yeah.
My son needs a job, and at the end of the day everybody goes out for jobs and there is none for any English people.
Meanwhile, Doncaster's beleaguered union bosses are balloting their members for industrial action over their dispute with the council. There may yet be pickets once more outside the building once known as the Coal House.
Matt Prodge.